Stuart Wade knows what it takes to win. He's a four-time kickboxing and taekwondo champion, and he was inducted into the UK Martial Arts Hall of Fame in 2014. He now spends his days as a clinical hypnotherapist and personal trainer, helping amateur and professional athletes win more medals, advance in their career, and eliminate their anxiety by using hypnotherapy and hypnosis when applicable. He joined me this week from across the pond to explain how he's transforming athletes in both the mind, body, and soul. I'm Kevin McShann. Let's have this conversation. Stuart, if you're ready, I welcome you to the program, and I'm excited to learn all about your journey in the fitness industry. Great to be with you this morning, and thank you so very much for being here.
Thank you for having me on, Kevin. I really appreciate the time.
So, Stuart, I know that you want to raise awareness about using the mind when we talk about overcoming anxiety and high performance. So I'm wondering if you could just begin our conversation by telling me about all the great work you do and how you help people improve their fitness.
Sure thing. So I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, and I'm also a personal trainer. And I sometimes combine the two elements depending on what a client is aiming to achieve. But in terms of the using the power of the mind with athletes, with people who have anxiety issues, or people who want to lose weight, those are my specialisms. And it's all about getting what's going on between the ears to match up and bring about the changes that you want in your life. You know, our subconscious mind is so powerful, and yet we go through years of programming and conditioning that sometimes affects it negatively and sometimes can hold us back from achieving our true potential in what we want to do. And so by using hypnosis as a tool, we can access the subconscious mind, and we can, for want of a better phrase, rewire the brain to better achieve and go about finding new thoughts, new feelings, new behaviors to get to where we want to be.
Absolutely. Can you just tell me about the transformation process when you see your clients sort of have their mindset change?
Of course. Every client is different. Every person is an individual, and some people it takes a little bit longer to see some progress. Some people it can be instantaneously. You know, it can be in one session they can have a shift almost in mindset completely. But the transformation process, typically it takes a little bit of practice, it takes a little bit of work. And the analogy that I use is, for example, if you went to the gym every day and you started doing bicep curls with a dumbbell with a good amount of weight, if you keep doing that week on week, your biceps will get stronger. They will probably grow a bit bigger. It's the same thing with the neural pathways, which are the thought processes in your brain. The more we can have repetition with particular positive thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, the stronger that neural pathway becomes in the brain. And so that transformation process, it starts with the actual hypnosis work. And then I give my clients little exercises to do themselves in between our sessions to build on the foundations that we lay. And then each time we can progress on the same way that you would increase the weight at the gym when that weight becomes easier. Then we just build and build and build until the client is at the point where they essentially are, for want of a better word, fixed. You know, their issue has been resolved and they're able to do what it is that they want to do.
And Stuart, I know that congratulations is in order for you. I know that you're inducted into the UK Martial Arts Hall of Fame as a four-time world champion in both taekwondo and kickboxing. So first of all, congratulations on the achievement. And tell me, how do you think your athletic past affects your professional and personal future?
Sure. Well, the great thing with it is I draw on my personal experiences with martial arts, you know, in terms of the training that's required, the competition, the values that martial arts instills as well in terms of discipline, teamwork, determination, etc., etc. I draw on all that experience when I'm working with my clients and my athletes, in addition to the clinical work and the qualifications that I have in hypnotherapy. And so I can really relate to my clients on a deeper level because I've been there and I've done it. So I know acutely what they are going through, you know, and the struggles that they might have because I've probably been through them myself or something similar. And yeah, it helps as well with the rapport building process because they can appreciate that I do have personal experience of these things and I've been through it myself. And then I've also studied and got the qualifications then to understand a little bit more about how to overcome these things in a clinical setting and to help athletes get there faster.
And how do you think it translates in your fitness background translates into your personal life? What sort of principles do you adopt in your personal life that sort of transcend to your personal life or professional life as well? So.
Sure. Well, with the fitness stuff, it's the same as martial arts, really. It's having discipline and it's having consistency. You know, if you have a routine for your day-to-day life each week, you get up, you go to the gym in the morning, for example, you get that out of the way, you've done your workout for the day, you've set yourself up for the day. And that's not to say you have to do it in the morning, you know, it has to fit with your schedule, but it's about having that routine, that repetition, that consistency and discipline. And that does then blend into other areas of life, whether it is work or family time or social life. If you have a business and you want to grow that business, having that time management and that consistency is key. And all these values cross over into multiple areas of life.
Indeed, they do. And I know that you work with people from all walks of life. So tell me about forming sort of a professional understanding about what they're trying to do in terms of winning in their athletic achievement and winning in life. Tell me about working with all different types of people.
Sure. As I said earlier, Kevin, you know, everybody is an individual, everybody is different. And so I initially do a completely free consultation with a prospective client, and there is no obligation for them to sign up and work with me. This is purely a fact-finding mission for myself and also an opportunity to give the client time and space to get to know me a little bit more as well. And in this consultation, we try and get to the root of whatever issue it is that they want to resolve. So I'll learn more about them as a person, what makes them tick, what things motivate them, what they want to achieve. And by having that background, it really doesn't matter what the issue is. It doesn't matter what sport the client plays, because I can elicit that information from them, and then I can go away afterwards and do my research even more. So if it is something more obscure, if it's a a sport that's not maybe a mainstream sport, for example, that they're playing, I can then go away having their personal background, and I can research the sport and the necessary requirements for that, and tailor my approach combining all these things.
And Stuart, I'm wondering how you define personal gratification and fulfillment for yourself. How do you define that?
Mm-hmm. I think it's doing what makes you happy, whilst also fulfilling the needs and requirements of your everyday life, you know, because it's one thing to do what you enjoy all the time, but unfortunately we live in the real world, quote unquote, and there are bills to pay, there are responsibilities, you know, and so I think it's being able to fulfill all those things, and that whole Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you know, you're fulfilling all your basic needs, and then you're also having personal fulfillment and gratification by doing the things that you enjoy, interacting with the people who you enjoy spending time with, and doing things that fulfill you personally as well. It's all about balance, and it sounds cliched, but it is, you know, everything in moderation, and yeah, planning your time accordingly.
Absolutely. And Stuart, I can hear that English accent, and I know you're calling in this morning from the UK. So tell me, what's the best part about living in the UK, and what do you enjoy doing for fun?
Sure. Well, I've always lived in the UK. I'm living in London at the moment, but I'm actually from a county called Yorkshire, which is in the north of England, if you've heard of it. But yeah, I like the UK. I like all my friends and family are here. You know, it's great being close enough to people. It's a small country. There's a relatively big population, but it's a relatively small country where, you know, in Canada or the US, where you might have to get a flight to go and see your family, you know. In England and the UK, it's usually a train or a car ride that's not too far away. So it's good in that respect, and there's a lot to do here. The weather's not great, I'll be honest, but you know, we can accept that. Sorry, Kevin, what was the second part of the question there?
No, I just wondered, outside of work, what do you like to do for fun there, Stuart?
Sure. I enjoy going to the cinema. You know, I enjoy the whole like Marvel films and all those fantasy type things. I enjoy sports, playing and watching, socializing with friends, the classic things. And exercise is something that I enjoy. You know, I'll do that for fun. Martial arts is something that I do for fun. Yeah, I really enjoy doing that. Being physical, being active, those are things that I enjoy. And yeah, I have a bit of a sweet tooth, so I enjoy indulging that sometimes, you know. But again, everything in moderation, as I said.
Absolutely. I have to adopt the same principle with apple pie, Stuart. So that's exactly right.
Absolutely.
So, Stuart, you had mentioned that fitness is important to you, and I'm also wanting to ask you about the pandemic and emerging from the pandemic and making sure people make their fitness a priority. What would you say to someone emerging from the pandemic who wants to reprioritize their fitness? How can they do that effectively?
Mm-hmm. Well, it takes initially a certain level of self-awareness as to where you are in terms of your physical health and fitness. You know, if you've not been doing any kind of exercise during the pandemic, to go from doing that to then training 5 or 6 days a week, hitting the gym, going running, doing whatever it is that you enjoy for exercise, but to then go from 0 to 60 very quickly, so to speak, that's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult initially in terms of your body adapting and the soreness that will come with that, but also maintaining that physically and psychologically as well. It's a big ask. So it would be easing into it. Do something that's manageable, that you enjoy, because if you don't enjoy it, if it's a chore, you're less likely to do it. So find some form of exercise that you enjoy and try and incorporate it into your routine. Anything is better than nothing at this point, and you can build on that week on week. It's about progressive overload. It's building on those foundations each week, and not running before you can walk. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, and it also would motivate you to stay committed to the process, right?
Absolutely, that's right.
So, Stuart, tell me, how do you think you want your personal and professional legacy to be defined there, Stuart?
hmm I think in terms of personal legacy, it's being what I would call a good person. Just being there for people, being honest, being understanding, being caring for others, and we're all in this together. We all have different beliefs, different ideologies. We come from different places, but we're all on this planet together. And so looking out for each other and helping to raise other people up as opposed to tearing them down, that's something that I try and live up to personally. Professionally, I would say it's working with a client, whether they're an athlete or not, and looking at them holistically from a place of non-judgment and acceptance of who they are, where they are in their life at that point, and then helping them genuinely to get to where they want to be. It's I've worked with a number of athletes over the time that I've been doing this, and for example, some of those athletes have said that when they've had sessions with a sports psychologist, that the sports psychologist will only help them with their performance in their sport, and that's it. If there's anything outside of that, they won't touch it. And as far as I'm concerned, that athlete's performance in the sport needs to be addressed holistically, because if they've got something going on in their personal life, that's probably going to be detrimental to their performance in training and then competition. So we need to help that person, that athlete as a whole. And the same goes for someone who's not an athlete. We need to look at it holistically and try and get a broad picture of what's going on in order to help that person to best effect.
Yeah, indeed. And Stuart, finally, tell me, if people want to get connected with you, what's the best way they can accomplish that goal?
Sure thing. The best way to contact me directly is on my email address, which is Stuarts, Stuart, at don't, that's DONT, hyphen, lose, LOSE, weight, WEIGHT.co.uk. That's the best way to contact me directly for consultations and for interaction. I do have a website which is the same, www.don't-lose-weight.co.uk, and that's a program that encompasses fitness, nutrition, and hypnosis. So you can get a free ebook on there. If you go on that website and just put your email address in, you can get a free ebook there and learn a bit more about me and some of my programs. But yeah, the email address is the best way to contact me, though.
Fantastic. Stuart, I really want to thank you for your time and sharing your insights on fitness, hypnosis, and a little bit about your personal life as well. Really enjoyed our conversation, and I want to thank you for taking my questions. It's most appreciated.
Thank you, Kevin. Like I said before, I really appreciate the time. It's been great. Really enjoyed it.